In a classroom where tension simmered beneath the surface, a bully targeted the new black student, grabbing her arm to drag her out in front of everyone. What she did in response turned the room silent, leaving jaws on the floor and changing the course of the day in ways no one could have predicted. In September 2023, 16-year-old Aisha Williams walked into her first day at Westview High School in Charlotte, North Carolina. She was the new kid, having moved from Atlanta with her mother after her parents' divorce. Aisha was used to starting over. She'd switched schools twice before, but this time felt heavier. Westview was a large public school, its hallways a maze of cliques and unspoken rules. Aisha, with her braided hair, bright smile, and quiet confidence, was determined to keep her head down and focus on her studies. She wanted to graduate on time and maybe even join the debate team, something she'd loved at her old school. The morning started smoothly enough. Aisha found her first period English class, room 204, and took a seat near the back. The teacher, Ms. Karen Ellis, was a soft-spoken woman in her 40s who greeted Aisha warmly and handed her a syllabus. The other students trickled in, some glancing at Aisha with curiosity, others ignoring her entirely. She noticed a group of girls in the corner whispering, their eyes darting her way, but she brushed it off. New kid, new stares, it was nothing she hadn't handled before. But then came Jason Carter, a 17-year-old junior known around Westview for his loud mouth and knack for picking fights. Jason was tall, broad-shouldered, and carried himself like he owned the school. His reputation preceded him. He'd been suspended twice the previous year for bullying, though he always seemed to skate by with minimal consequences. His father, a local business owner, had a way of smoothing things over with the administration. Jason walked into class late, his sneakers squeaking against the floor, and scanned the room. His eyes landed on Aisha. "Who's this?" he said loudly, nudging one of his friends, a wiry kid named Tyler. "New girl thinks she's special, sitting all quiet like that?" Aisha kept her eyes on her notebook, jotting down the date. She'd dealt with guys like Jason before, loud, insecure, looking for someone to target. She wasn't going to give him the reaction he wanted. Ms. Ellis, who was writing on the whiteboard, turned around. "Jason, take your seat," she said firmly. "We're starting." Jason smirked but didn't move right away. He leaned against a desk near Aisha's, crossing his arms. "What's your name, new girl?" he asked, his tone mocking. Aisha looked up, her expression calm. "Aisha," she said simply, then went back to her notes. Jason laughed, a sharp, grating sound. "Aisha, huh? You don't sound like you're from around here. Where'd you come from, the hood?" A few students snickered, though others shifted uncomfortably. Ms. Ellis stepped forward. "Jason, that's enough. Sit down, or you're going to the office." He raised his hands in mock surrender and sauntered to his seat, but not before muttering, "Bet she's trouble. Always are." Aisha's jaw tightened, but she didn't respond. She'd heard worse, and she wasn't about to let some loudmouth ruin her first day. The class moved on, Ms. Ellis diving into a discussion about To Kill a Mockingbird. Aisha listened intently, even raising her hand to answer a question about Atticus Finch's moral compass. Her answer was thoughtful, drawing a nod of approval from Ms. Ellis. But Jason wasn't done. As the class broke into small groups for a discussion activity, Jason made his move. He walked over to Aisha's desk, where she was paired with two other students, a shy girl named Mia and a boy named Ethan. Jason leaned over Aisha's desk, his shadow falling across her notebook. "You don't belong here," he said, his voice low but loud enough for nearby students to hear. "This ain't your kind of school." Aisha looked up, her eyes steady. "I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be," she said, her tone even but firm. Jason's face twisted into a sneer. "Oh, you got a mouth on you? Let's see how tough you are." Before anyone could react, he grabbed Aisha's arm, yanking her up from her chair. "Come on, let's take this outside." The classroom froze. Mia gasped, and Ethan's eyes widened, but neither moved. Ms. Ellis, who was helping a group across the room, spun around. "Jason, let go of her right now," she shouted, striding toward them. But Aisha didn't wait for help. She twisted her arm free with a quick, practiced motion, something she'd learned in a self-defense class her mother had insisted she take years ago. She stepped back, putting space between herself and Jason, her heart racing but her face composed. "Touch me again, and you'll regret it," she said, her voice low and steady. Jason laughed, but there was a flicker of uncertainty in his eyes. He stepped closer, trying to regain control. "What? You think you're gonna scare me? You're nothing." That's when Aisha did something no one expected. Instead of backing down or shouting back, she reached into her backpack and pulled out her phone. She held it up, the camera already recording. "Say that again," she said, her voice clear and unwavering. "Tell everyone exactly what you think of me." Jason froze, his bravado faltering. The other students were watching now, some pulling out their own phones, others whispering. Ms. Ellis reached them, her face red with anger. "Jason, step away from her." "Aisha, put the phone down." But Aisha didn't lower it. "With all due respect, Ms. Ellis, I'm documenting this. He put his hands on me, and I'm not letting him lie about it later." The room was silent, the tension thick. Jason's face flushed, his fists clenching. "You're gonna regret this," he muttered, but he didn't move closer. Ms. Ellis hesitated, clearly torn. "Aisha, I understand, but recording in class is against school policy. Please, let's handle this properly." Aisha nodded but kept the phone steady. "I'll stop recording when he steps back and apologizes." Jason scoffed, but the weight of the room was shifting. Students were murmuring, some recording, others glaring at Jason. Mia, the shy girl, spoke up, her voice trembling.
"She's right."
He grabbed her for no reason. Ethan nodded. "Yeah, I saw it. He's been picking on her since she walked in." Jason's eyes darted around, realizing he was losing the room. He took a step back, muttering something under his breath, but Aisha wasn't done. She lowered her phone but kept it in her hand, ready to record again if needed. Then she spoke, her voice carrying a quiet authority that silenced the whispers. "I don't know why you think you can put your hands on me or talk to me like that," she said, looking directly at Jason. "But I'm not here for your nonsense. I'm here to learn, same as everyone else. You don't get to decide who belongs. And if you try this again, I'll make sure everyone knows exactly who you are, not just in this school, but everywhere." She paused, letting her words sink in. Then she turned to Ms. Ellis. "I'm happy to go to the office with you, but I'm not letting this go. He needs to be held accountable." Ms. Ellis nodded, her expression a mix of admiration and exhaustion. "Both of you, come with me. We're going to the principal's office. Now." As they walked out, the classroom erupted in murmurs. Some students clapped quietly, others stared at Aisha with newfound respect. Jason, for once, was silent, his usual swagger gone. In the hallway, Aisha walked with her head high, her phone still in her hand. She hadn't planned to make a scene, but she wasn't going to let someone like Jason push her around. In the principal's office, Principal Linda Hayes listened as Ms. Ellis recounted the incident. Aisha calmly explained her side, showing the video she'd recorded, which captured Jason's aggressive behavior and his earlier taunts. Jason tried to downplay it, claiming he was just joking, but the video told a different story. Principal Hayes, a no-nonsense woman in her 50s, didn't hesitate. "Jason, this isn't the first time we've had issues with you," she said. "Grabbing another student is unacceptable, and your comments were out of line. You're suspended for 3 days, and I'm recommending a review by the school board for further disciplinary action. Your parents will be notified." Jason slumped in his chair, his defiance crumbling. Aisha sat quietly, her hands folded, but inside, she felt a surge of relief. She'd stood up for herself, and it had worked. Principal Hayes turned to Aisha. "I'm sorry you had to go through this on your first day. We take bullying seriously, and I'll make sure this is addressed. Your video will be kept confidential, but it's evidence we'll use to ensure this doesn't happen again." Aisha nodded. "Thank you. I just want to be able to come to school and learn without being targeted." The principal assured her that counselors would be available if she needed to talk, and Ms. Ellis offered to check in with her regularly. As Aisha left the office, she felt a mix of emotions, anger at Jason, pride in herself, and a cautious hope that maybe Westview could be a place where she could belong. Word of the incident spread quickly. By lunch, students were talking about how Aisha had turned the tables on Jason, her calm but fierce response earning her admiration from classmates she hadn't even met yet. Some approached her table, offering words of support or asking about her old school. Mia, the shy girl from class, sat next to her and apologized for not speaking up sooner. "I was scared," Mia admitted. "But you were so brave. I want to be like that." Aisha smiled, though she didn't feel particularly brave. "I was scared too," she said. "But sometimes you just have to stand up, you know?" Over the next few days, the school took steps to address the incident. Jason's suspension was extended after his parents met with the administration, and rumors swirled that his father's influence might not be enough to shield him this time. Aisha's video, while kept confidential by the school, had been seen by enough students in the classroom that snippets of the story spread online, with some calling Aisha a hero for standing up to a known bully. Aisha, meanwhile, settled into her routine. She joined the debate team, where her sharp mind and quick wit quickly made her a standout. She made friends with Mia and Ethan, who became her allies in navigating Westview's social landscape. The whispers about her being the new girl faded, replaced by respect for how she'd handled herself. But the incident wasn't without its challenges. Aisha's mother, Keisha, worried about her safety, especially after hearing about Jason's reputation. They talked late into the night, Aisha reassuring her that she could handle it. Keisha, a nurse who'd raised Aisha to be strong and self-reliant, was proud but cautious. "You did the right thing," Keisha told her. "But you watch your back. People like that don't always learn their lesson." Aisha nodded, knowing her mother was right. But she also knew she'd set a precedent. She wasn't invisible, and she wasn't going to let anyone make her feel like she didn't belong. Weeks later, at a school assembly on bullying prevention, Aisha was asked to speak. She hesitated at first, not wanting to relive the incident, but Ms. Ellis encouraged her. Standing in front of the student body, Aisha shared her story, not just the moment with Jason, but what it meant to be the new kid, to feel targeted, and to find the strength to stand up. "When someone tries to push you down, they're counting on you to stay quiet," she said, her voice steady. "But you don't have to. You can speak up, you can record it, you can tell someone. You don't have to fight their way, you can fight your way." And that's what I did. The auditorium erupted in applause, and even some of Jason's friends looked away, uncomfortable. Aisha stepped off the stage, her heart full. She hadn't planned to be a symbol of anything, but in that moment, she realized she'd done more than just stand up to a bully. She'd shown others they could do it too. Jason returned to school after his suspension, but he kept his distance from Aisha. The administration kept a close eye on him, and the culture in the classroom began to shift. Students who'd once laughed at his antics were less quick to join in, and teachers were more vigilant. Aisha's actions had sparked a conversation, one that rippled beyond Westview's walls. By the end of the semester, Aisha was no longer just the new girl. She was a leader, a voice, reminder that standing up could change everything. And for those who'd witnessed that day in room 204, her response to Jason's aggression was a moment they'd never forget, a moment that shocked everyone and set a new standard for what courage looked like.